1130 The Tiger, Shreveport Bossier's #1 sports station, and your home for Tim Fletcher in the morning.
The pressure is on Roger Goodell. This kind of keeps it in the news where people are going to have to ask.
That I am perfectly fine with.
Officiating and the way that they're handling it above whatever story they're trying to push out there. You thought you could make that the lead story. Well, we got one for you.
Catch Tim Fletcher every weekday morning, 6 to 10 a.m. on 1130 The Tiger.
It takes both vision and skill to create a pool as unique as it is beautiful. A perfect blend of time-honored craftsmanship and cutting-edge technology. The hand, heart, and mind working in perfect sync to create something truly special. A source of timeless relaxation, priceless memories, and endless joy. That is the mission of a master pool builder, and that is the magic of Moorhead Pools.
We have been preaching this for so long, but it's nice to hear it from other sources as well. Gippsland Bank and Trust certainly knows about customer service. The Minden Press Herald, our buddies over there in Webster Parish, just voted Gippsland Bank and Trust the best bank and best customer service in Webster Parish. How you like them apples? You want great customer service? You want Gippsland Bank and Trust, the great banking team.
Welcome to Walk-On's Bistro and Bar, where every dish starts from scratch. Fresh ingredients bring our food to life. Mouth-watering cuisine, unique flavors, and we're always more than happy to share our Southern charm and culture. A love of life, family, food, friends, fun, sports, and celebrations. Walk-Ons. It's game day with the taste of Louisiana.
This is a guided meditation on parenting. Take this time to breathe deeply and close your eyes. Right now, you're completely in control. Unlike the time you and your son played basketball and you attempted to slam dunk, or when you tried removing those raccoons from the basement. Concentrate on the soothing sound of my voice. Release the memory of when you wrestled with that beehive in your son's treehouse. Let go of the time you thought that skunk was a cat, or when you pulled into the garage with your son's bike on top of the car. Deep breaths. Deep breaths.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you. For more information on how you can adopt, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Josh Groban. My favorite thing about music is its ability to inspire and nourish the soul. That's why I'm proud to work with Feeding America, an organization that inspires hope for families in need and helps nourish the 16 million kids in this country struggling with hunger. The Feeding America nationwide network of food banks gathers surplus food and helps get it to kids in need, but they can't do it alone. Find out how you can help at feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Tiger weather now.
Now, this heat wave is going to stay with us right on through the upcoming weekend with temperatures around 100 degrees each day, right on through Sunday. Sunshine near 100 this afternoon. Clear tonight, 73. Sunny tomorrow, 101. Friday, sunshine. Highs at 103. We're Treated Wellig at the Weather Channel.
KWKH, Shreveport, Bossier City.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runner at first. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Tigers win. Tigers win.
The following is a paid program. Participants of this program are not employees of this station, and their views, opinions, and claims do not necessarily represent those of Town Square Media, its employees, or advertisers. Good afternoon. It's the Patrick Netherton Show.
Voice of the Demons, right?
Yes.
Touchdown, Demons!
Brined, marinated, or dry rubbed, it's sports the way you like it.
Sports Center top 10 right there!
Talking to the biggest names, bringing you the best interviews.
He actually smokes his beans.
Thank you, Mr. Know-It-All.
The cooler is full and the brisket is resting.
Just a nice little pull and it comes right apart. That's perfect.
We eat ribs with this dude.
Here's your master of ceremonies, the Kansas City Barbecue Society certified expert.
Throw the fade, looking for Ferguson. Got it!
Patrick Netherton.
13-yard touchdown. Demons are back in it. And good afternoon. We welcome you into the Patrick Netherton Show right here on 1130 The Tiger. Rogers is singing, but with a different vocal intonation. A.K.A. he might be belching just a bit over there. But, hey, we had a great lunch. We're going to talk about that just in a little bit. And I posted the pictures of it, by the way. It's up. And if you want to see it, I also shared it on the Patrick Netherton Show Facebook page. We are back on Facebook Live again today. We got the internet gremlins all figured out, so if you missed my beautiful face yesterday, I'm happy that you can see me again, or I'm sorry if you find it unfortunate to look at me. Then I'm sorry, but my face is back. But it is a great way for you to see the show, watch the show, be a part of the show, and we take your Facebook Live comments. If you want to comment on the Facebook Live page, we will take those as well. But we got a lot to discuss today. A lot of things happening in the world of sports today. We will talk barbecue because, hey, that's what we do. We're not afraid to talk barbecue. Rogers and I made a little sojourn to check out what I would argue is the best barbecue I've had in the state of Louisiana.
All right.
Yeah, and again, I don't find barbecue in Louisiana to be prevalent or particularly great, but this spot is doing it right, and we'll talk about that because Rogers yesterday twisted my arm into going. He strong-armed me. He told me, "You're going to go or else, buddy." And of course, when Rogers comes after me, I don't have any choice.
Hey, boy!
That's right. He came after me. So Hambone told me I was going, or that's it. No other option. And then I was like, okay, why don't we meet, somewhere, because I don't want to come all the way to West Shreveport and then go all the way to Mendon and then come back to any. And I'm like, why don't we meet, in Bossier somewhere? And then, of course, Hambone invented some issue with his truck. My truck doesn't start. It's
that 18-year-old Chevy sitting out there doesn't have trouble with it at all.
I got it's a Fetzer valve. Something's wrong with the Fetzer valve.
Oh, no, I've got a day. Some mornings, man, it won't even act like it turns over, like it's just completely dead. I'll have to wait a second, and then all of a sudden, put the key in real quick and turn it, and it'll catch. I promise you. There are times I just do this, but it's not even a click.
Right.
No lights, nothing. I'm like,
yeah.
I know my battery can't. And I'll have to wait, and I'll take the key out and wait, and I will. Instead of giving it the time to do the thing,
right.
And it kind of fools
You'll
it.
fool it.
It does.
You'll
it fools it. I trick
you
it.
trick
And that 18-year-old truck will start for me. It's been good to me, boy.
You tricked that thing, Hambone.
It's still 18 years old.
You tricked
Stuff's
it.
going to happen. I tricked that key.
Roger tricked it. That's right. It didn't know. It didn't have time to stop working.
It didn't have time not to start.
That's right. It didn't know.
It was in sleep mode.
I done tricked it.
Tricked it.
Hambone tricked that thing. Got it started. That's like when we used to blow on the cartridges for when we played Nintendo back in the day. Like the only way you could get it to play, you put the cartridge in, it wouldn't work, so you take it out and you blow on it.
Yeah,
and then you put it back in and it worked.
It works.
And sometimes Sometimes I was convinced that that if I blew on it with my mouth, it was too hard. Well, that was quite a sentence, wasn't it? Sorry, I didn't mean that. That there was too much air going in, and somehow, I don't know, I convinced myself that that there was something wrong with if I actually went through and did use too much air pressure. I'm trying to find other ways to say this because I don't want Rogers to go clip that off the recording and use that as a drop.
It's rolling.
That's right. I blew too much and it got too hard. Yeah. No. So I was convinced, Raj, that if I put too much air too quickly, that it would mess it up somehow.
Something up,
so I would start doing it with my nostrils.
Oh my God!
So I would start blowing out of my nose instead of my mouth because I didn't think it would create as much airflow. And I mean, we were dumb, Rogers. We were 12. We didn't know any better. We were idiots. So that's part of what what went down. But the Rogers truck is like the old Nintendo cartridges. You just have to fool it into working sometimes. It wasn't ready when I just put the key in real quick and started it.
And I got that one tire with the slow leak that for some reason one week it leaks out slower than it does the other. I don't understand.
Oh.
It's like, wait a minute, 1 week it lost 12 pounds of pressure, and the next week 6. I don't understand.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I know it.
That's so good.
I know it.
Anyway, we're going to talk about a little lunch trip that Rogers and I made. And he basically, he cajoled me. He strong-armed me into going and coming and picking him up. So I ended up coming and picking him up here in West Jesus to head on over to East Jesus.
Yes,
so
now we got both banks of Jerusalem.
That's right.
Covered.
We've got everything handled, my friend. We got everything handled. All right, let's we'll get to that in just a moment. But we do have a lot to discuss today, and we got a lot of different ways for you to be a part of the show. You can watch us on Facebook Live. We got the Facebook Live stream back up and going. We encourage you to do that. Holler at us on Facebook. And again, if you're there, look, we've went over 500 likes on the Facebook page. We're at 509 and rising. Keep if you're listening to the show and you like it, get on the Facebook page, Patrick Netherton Show, like the page. We share all our interviews there. We've got a couple of big interviews coming up today we're going to share on the page. So make sure that you do that. Rogers, we've got coming up in the next couple of weeks, Dana Holgerson from the University of Houston. He's going to join us before they play Tulane. And then we've got Chad Morris, who's going to join us in a couple of weeks before they play San Jose State. I think it's San Jose State. Anyway, so we've got Chad Morris from Arkansas. We got Dana Holgerson from Houston. And, of course, we're bringing you all of the best interviews that you're going to find. Today, Raj, we've got Craig Way, the voice of the Texas Longhorns.
No
who is going
way.
to join us. Yes way, Ted.
No way.
Yes way. Craig Way, as a matter of fact. Not Segway, Craig Way. He is going to join us. And let me tell you something. He is one of the legendary voices in all of college football, in my opinion.
I mean, if you're going to have a gig,
Texas,
that ain't a bad one. Austin, Texas, state capital.
Here's what's crazy, Raj. Not only does he do the University of Texas football on radio, but he does television for high school football in Texas. And if you're going to do high school football anywhere, Texas is the state to do it.
Texas is king. High school football, Texas is king. Wow, that's very impressive, man.
So
that means he's busy on Fridays and Saturdays.
Yes. So we're going to have
kind of like what you're going to be doing.
Kind of like what I'm going to be doing. Yeah, we'll talk about that coming up in a bit.
I'm proud of you, buddy. I can't wait for you to do that. I really am. I'm happy for you. I'm proud of you.
So
represent.
There you go. So go to the Facebook page, facebook.com/Netherton Show, or just look up the Patrick Netherton Show on the Facebook page. We encourage you to like it, tell your friends, share it with your friends. The more people we have on there, the better that we'll get, the more responses we'll get, and the more people can be a part of what we got going on, because we got a lot going on. Again, Craig Way at 4:05, about an hour from now. He will join us on the show, the voice of the Texas Longhorns. We'll talk about what happened last week with Louisiana Tech, and we're going to talk about and preview this week's game against LSU. So no one else around here is bringing you Craig Way, the voice of the Texas Longhorns. So we got him. And then, Raj, at 4:30, we've got one of our good friends and a guy that's always down with us during college football season, the lead college football writer for the Associated Press of all people, Ralph Russo, will join us at the bottom of next hour, 4:30. So a big 4 o'clock hour upcoming. 3 o'clock hour, we're going to discuss Zeke Elliott's contract. We're going to discuss some NFL storylines. And then there were a few things in college football that we didn't get to. We didn't talk about Georgia State and Tennessee yesterday. We never got to that. We were too busy talking about Hugh Freeze coaching from coaching from his hospital bed to really get into what went down and some of the bad losses that the SEC suffered. Mizzou at Wyoming, which Mizzou was up 14-0, I think, in that game. Then you had Florida State's bad loss. We talked a little bit about that yesterday. Bunch of freshman QBs showed out this past week. So got a lot of things to get to that we didn't get to cover yesterday. And again, Craig Way at the top of the hour at 4 o'clock and 4:05, and Ralph Russo from the Associated Press will join us at 4:30. All right, watch on Facebook Live. You can do that. Follow, like the page, all that. You can also catch us on Twitter. He's at Hey Boy Rogers. I am at PT Netherton. And the show page is at Netherton Show. So very easy. And again, we post all of our stuff on the at Netherton Show Twitter feed as well. We're very big on that, very big on the social media. We're going to get things out, tell you who's on, and give you the not only the guest lineup that's upcoming, but sometime tonight, the interview with Ralph Russo and the interview with Craig Way will both be posted on the Facebook page, the Twitter page. It'll be on the YouTube channel. And again, if you want to go like the YouTube channel, we recommend it. YouTube, search for the Patrick Netherton Show. All right, that guy over there, ladies and gentlemen. Representing the Lollipop Guild.
Hey, boy!
Hey, boy. Well, now apparently I'm representing the new
micro wrestling.
Yeah. You have to be 5 foot or under.
Yeah, no, that's going on in Tampa.
I know,
actually.
But that just
our boy Drew had to do a promo for the micro wrestling.
I hadn't heard anything like that since the promo for Mini Kiss was at the fair.
Yeah, Mini Kiss.
Mini Kiss.
Yeah.
Who the real Kiss, well, half of the real Kiss are going to be in town this weekend.
That's right. It's
Saturday
this
night.
weekend, isn't it?
Yeah, Saturday night at the Century League Center.
I still can't believe you're not going to that.
Well,
I know why, but
update.
it's wait, are you going?
Update.
Wait, what?
There's a maybe.
What?
Lauren texted me last night.
Little bit.
Didn't realize it was this weekend and says, Dad, if I come in, would you want to go? I know LSU Texas is on, because the big thing that's been in the morning on Tim Fletcher Show is I'm not going to Kiss to stay and watch LSU Texas. Adam, who's
Lord
a Texas
Hester,
fan, is going to Kiss so he doesn't have to watch his two favorite teams. But Lauren last night said, hey, if I do come in and maybe I can find us some, cheaper tickets since it's not completely sold out, would you want to go? I said, well, of course I'm going to go, see half of the original team, even though my two favorite members are Ace Frehley, the guitarist, and Peter Criss, the drummer.
Yeah.
But the two original co-founders, Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley, are still in the group, and they're on their end of the road tour. So there may be a chance.
They're on the we're likely up for hip replacement next year tour.
We're on the I'm going to break a hip on stage tour because it's a 3-year tour. So by the time it's over, it may be end of life tour. But no, there's an outside chance if my daughter wants to come in to go to Kiss, because that's she and I's favorite band together growing up. For people that don't know, we have a major, major connection with that our whole lives. She was a very different little girl growing up as far as loving Kiss and rock and roll and knows all the songs. And at 5 years old, on my shoulder, seeing them in Houston with the original 4, she was singing like all the words to almost every song. And finally, the dude next to us with his son goes, how in the world does your young daughter know this? He said, how? I said, she's 5. He said, how? I said, well, from the time she's born, all she's heard is Kiss's greatest hits. And he just says, dude, I think that is so awesome.
There you go.
And here we are 20 years later, and she and I are still best of friends.
I will say, in somewhat of an upset, her name is not, what's their slow song?
Beth.
In an upset, her name's not Beth.
No, but that is her favorite Kiss song.
Well, I thought of if you would have a daughter that, I understand there's the mom involved.
Yeah,
I
her
get
mom
it.
was involved.
Right,
with the
I understand it's not just Rogers gets to name the kid.
But she was at least open to it. But when I talked to the ex-wife about, hey, can I change my name to Dr. Love? That's where she was like, no. This is what got us in this trouble to start with.
And she's like, no, sir, because you haven't filled a prescription for me in years.
Yeah.
Got him.
And that's what leads to divorce.
Got him, Rogers. All right, speaking of rock and roll, Rogers.
Yeah, man.
We had kind of an interesting lunch. Speaking of rock and roll, and we are going to speak of rock and roll, which is interesting. So yesterday I was talking about my epic barbecue road trip from last week. Went to Craig's in Duval's Bluff, Arkansas. Went to Martin, Tennessee, and ate there at a little food truck or whatever, and ended up going down through through Alabama, and made an entire road trip through Alabama. Big Bob Gibson's with the Alabama white sauce in Decatur, Alabama, and then Archibald's in Tuscaloosa, and Dreamland in Tuscaloosa. And then I was on the way back, and about 8 o'clock, I'm getting kind of closing in on Shreveport, and I'm like, you know what? I keep hearing about this Smokin' Jays over in Mendon. I'm like, it may be something to think about. Smokin' Jays in Mendon. That's me, by the way. Why are you turning my microphone up? Oh, that's me. No, now that makes more sense. Yeah, well. No, not that kind of Smokin' Jays, Rogers. Different kind of Smokin' Jays.
Yeah, because when we were telling
you
me
should
about
know that now it's a different kind. Yeah,
I thought it was something
Well,
else.
Rogers had all of his glassware with him when we drove over there. He was like, Smokin' Jays, I'm in. Let's go. And he's got all these contraptions and this thing that like vaporizes stuff and this thing that heats up water and this. I mean, he's got all this kind of.
This looks like a lighter.
Yeah,
this looks like a car key.
Right.
But it's not.
He's got all this stuff in his hand and he's like, let's go. I'm ready for Smokin' Jays.
I mean, I hopped in your vehicle ready to go, man.
And we get over there, and it's a barbecue restaurant. But anyway, so when I was coming back I decided to stop in because they were open till 9. I stopped in at 8:30, and again, didn't expect much because you would never expect to have decent barbecue at 9 o'clock at night. You just wouldn't because the that stuff is being prepared earlier in the day, overnight, that kind of stuff. Get in there, I was pleasantly surprised by it. So, as I'm telling that story yesterday, Rogers is like, well, Wednesday, I have a lot of time between shows, and I'm, and he's dropping hints on me. Finally, I'm like, do you want to go to Minden and go to Smokin' Jays? He's like, yeah, I do. I'm like, okay, well. And then, of course, he invents some sort of engine problem, so I have to come get him from the station, of course. So I come over here, I pick him up, we head over. We get there about noon. Reasonably crowded, not terribly, terribly crowded. So we get over there.
Definitely got crowded while we were there.
No doubt. So we get in there, and I got to meet the owner, Josh, and could not have been nicer. Another young kid, Raj. Martin, Tennessee, I mentioned. Kid's 23 years old that's doing the barbecue at Martin, Tennessee. This dude is in his early 30s. This kid, Josh, and he was another one of these guys that seems to have the great passion for it. And, you have to, if you're going to be a barbecue guy, you have to have the passion for it. You have to be willing to work. It is something that you have to work at. It is not anything that, you can't set it and forget it. You got to keep checking the fire. You got to keep, it's something you got to do. So we go over there. Rogers was surprised that it was in such a nice new building because they had just put it together. So they have a gas station that also has a burger place in it. That was the original, kind of out by the interstate. And then a little further back, they opened their second gas station. The first one was Bon Temps, and this one was Bon Temps 2. And then they added the Smokin' Jays restaurant to the other side of it. And I had told Rogers that this is good barbecue, but I did want to go back and try it fresh for lunch to see, because that's when I would know if it at the end of the day, I'm not going in with high expectations, so it would be hard to be disappointed when you don't go in with. So this time I go in with much higher expectations at this point. I'm expecting more. So I go in, and I've got to say, knocked it out of the park. They knocked it out of the park. It was impressive. And the owner, Josh, was, hooked us up with everything we wanted. We had brisket, we had ribs, we had potato salad, we had their dirty rice, we had the beans, we had some sausage, we had some chicken. It was a whole plate. And by the way, if you want to see all of it, it's on the Facebook page. Just go to the Netherton Show Facebook page. But what got Raj is, it's a pretty new building.
Right,
Yeah,
that
or a
surprised
new
me.
pretty
I
building.
figured it'd be an old building that they had used, and I wouldn't have cared.
Yeah,
but I was expecting an old smoked out building.
Yeah, it was a new pretty building, so he was happy about that. But they also had a speaker right over the door,
outside in the parking lot.
So as we're walking in, Rogers is like, "Is that Ozzy? Is that Ozzy playing?" Sure enough, we get in there, and it's Stairway to Heaven.
Scorpions, Judas Priest.
Just all
and
of
I'm
the
talking
classic
hard rocking.
Yeah, all of the classic rock that Rogers loves.
That I expected. Minden barbecue. There's going to be country music played.
It's going to be Waylon Jennings,
or
it's going to be whoever the new guys are.
The new boot scooting guys,
Cody Stapleton, and any of those guys.
I totally expected that. But for the whole time we were there, it was rock and roll. That some were hit songs and some weren't.
Yeah, Rogers was like, I haven't heard this song
there
in
was
years.
A Scorpion song that has never hardly been played on the radio. They played, and I just was floored. And then Breaking the Law came on.
Yeah.
We even asked the dude. It's like, aren't there people like that guy over there is probably griping about it?
Right.
The guy in the overalls that looks like he's 92.
Right. No, and everybody seemed to be okay with it. Now,
very clean. That's another thing.
It was
very clean store, very clean restaurant. And for somebody like me who's an only child, OCD, everything has its spot. Very impressed. Even went into the restrooms. Very impressed with the restroom.
It was it's a great spot. It's within 30 minutes. I mean, it's Minden. It's
and the
30
little
miles
store
away.
that's in there with it. It's a little gadget shop as well.
There's
There's
a gas
cell phone
station.
stuff. There's old school candy in there.
Mm-hmm.
It's very cool, man. It's very cool.
So Rogers,
and a salad bar
they did
in a barbecue
salad bar,
place.
which I mean, come on.
But the thing about it, you probably didn't look. They had two different kinds of lettuce. The normal kind and then like the romaine.
So 2 kinds of lettuce for me to ignore?
Yes.
Okay,
but
good.
If you did want a salad, instead of just going, oh, man, I don't really like that kind of lettuce.
Right. They had the regular iceberg lettuce.
And the regular kind of like spinach-looking lettuce.
Which is great. That's just 2 kinds of lettuce I can completely ignore when I walk by to eat my regular food.
But if you were, and a lot of people did get salads, I noticed that.
That's because
and they have their choice with all the condiments on the bar. It was very strange seeing a salad bar in a barbecue restaurant.
So Josh came and sat down with us, and we got to get a little bit of his backstory.
Oh, good dude, man.
Kid's a tech grad. He
we got over that. I'm an NLU grad.
Right.
But he even looked at me then because I was wearing my ULM shirt with the old NLU colors. I was like, "No, hey, I went there when it was actually NLU, so there's no rift between."
Here's the thing.
Okay, that's old school. I said, sure is.
I will never. Draco asked, "What exit do you take?" It's exit 47. It's the main Minden exit.
The one you need to, yeah,
it's the main Minden exit. It's the one that has the little loop-de-loops that are you kind of
go to the second loop-de-loop.
You kind of go off the interstate and then you loop around and you just go north.
Yeah.
Basically,
and he just runs right into it.
You kind of run into it. And
you'll be at a
thing,
stoplight and you look left and you'll see a little
Draco,
piggy.
if you don't know how to use Google Maps, let me know. I'll help you out. I'll get you on Google Maps to take you over there. But it's easy. Just take the main Minden exit and just go north. When you get to the big stoplight, you can see it over there on your left. It's a big gray building with a huge flame on the side of it. Not like an actual flame.
It's not on fire.
Right, like a decal of a flame.
It's like a decal of a flame, and I think inside the flame there may even be a pig.
Maybe something like that. Anyway, brisket was very good.
And some burnt ends
So the brisket was, again, it's a savory brisket. He doesn't.
And I did what you give advice to do. I tried eating it before I ever touched it in the sauce.
Yeah, you never.
And that's a great piece of advice.
You never sauce anything first. You always try everything
and
without
if afterwards
sauce.
You want to dump it with sauce, go ahead.
Once you've tried it that way, then I don't care what you do. Because there's a lot of people who, like, I have one of my best friends. He just loves sauce.
Yeah,
like he goes to Dickey's here locally because he loves the sauce. And he'll be all about it. He'll go get it. He'll dunk it in sauce. And I'm like, no, don't. And he just likes the sauce.
That's just the way. Yeah,
but my thing is, if you ever go anywhere that's a legitimate barbecue joint, you should never dip it in the sauce first. Now, look, when you go to Dreamland and Archibald's in Tuscaloosa, you ain't got a choice. Those ribs come swimming in sauce, and honestly, they're better for it. But especially a Texas barbecue joint that's worth their salt, they should never sauce anything. You should try everything without the sauce, then throw the sauce on top of it if you want to go ahead and do that at that point. But Josh has a cool story. He opened up the original one, and it was a burger joint, and they wanted to do barbecue, and he's doing it the right way, man. He's got a big smoker in the back. He's got everything going on. He's cooking all the meats. The sides are all, he said, family recipes that he kept throughout the years. They're all good. There's like 10, there was 7 sides. They started with 7 sides, and they've still got 7 sides. And I tried the beans, I tried the potato salad, I tried the dirty rice, and they were all fantastic. I highly encourage you to go over there. I feel reasonably confident, Rogers, and I've been to most of the good barbecue joints in New Orleans. I have not really been to a lot of other places like in Ruston or Alexandria, some of these places that may have there may be an out-of-the-way kind of joint that you don't know about. I've been pretty much everywhere in Shreveport, and I feel reasonably confident in saying this is as good a barbecue restaurant as you're going to find in the entire state of Louisiana. Is there. It was fabulous. Donnie just asked me, is the Minden barbecue better than Riverport? No, but it's not that far off. And trust me, that is a huge, huge compliment for them, because Riverport's a 2-time Texas Monthly Top 50 award winner, and if you're doing anything close to what they're doing, you're doing something. But I will confidently say that it is as good a barbecue place as I've ever eaten in the state of Louisiana. So, Rogers, we got you covered. You go west, and you're 45 minutes to Riverport Barbecue, 2-time Texas Monthly Top 50 award winner.
Yep.
You go east, and you're 30 minutes from Smokin' Jay's in Minden.
It took no blink of an eye. We were on the Minden exit.
Yeah, and they are both fabulous.
Yeah.
The beans at Smokin' Jay's, almost as good as the beans at Riverport, and very similar, which is a good thing. They're very similar. They're very complex beans. They got a lot of flavors to them, and that's to me a big deal. Brisket was good. Ribs were, they do baby backs, but they had a meatier baby back this time.
You kind of caught me off guard.
Yeah,
I was expecting a little.
I got the small end of the baby backs the last time I was there. Now, again, it was at 8:30. This was a little bit meatier baby back.
Yes, it was.
A lot of good sugary flavor. Had a nice little sweet kick to it, which I love. It was again.
Thanks.
I love you, sweet kick.
In high school they called me old
sweet kick.
Yeah,
that's because you were the kicker on the team.
That's right. And the running back and the cornerback.
Right, and everything else. It was and the left out. So I would highly recommend it. I would just say that it is as good as any place that I've had in the state of Louisiana. 318 says, have I tried any in NOLA? Yes. I have been to The Joint in NOLA. I have been to Central City in NOLA. And I've also been to Blue Oak Barbecue in NOLA. Of the three, and those are kind of the three most preeminent ones, I would say of the three, I liked Central City the best. Central City has a spoon bread. I don't know if you ever heard of that, Raj. I had never heard of spoon bread before. It's kind of like it's like if you made dressing, but with like sweet corn.
Really?
It's okay. And it's got like this. Oh, it's really good. I don't know the right way to term the spoon bread, but it's unbelievable. 318 agreed with me, by the way, in the NOLA. Yes, I've had all of the NOLA. Draco said better than Silver Star. Yes, not even close. Kachu said I get real offended when people put sauce on barbecue that I've made before they taste it. Then if they want sauce, I'm offended they feel they need sauce. Well, you can't have it all every way, Kachu. You can't have it all the ways. No, and here's the thing. I don't mind if people, especially if you have a good sauce, if you have a sauce that really complements your food, then that you should want people to have sauce. You should want people to enjoy that because it adds a complexity to your food, and that's a good thing. That is not a bad thing. But again, try everything without sauce first. Don't sauce it initially. And that's why, Raj, again, people were eating chopped beef sandwiches, and just like our boy Steven at Riverport, who said chopped beef sandwiches keep the lights on, number one seller at Smokin' Jay's, chopped beef sandwiches. And I told Josh, the owner, I was like, I want to go smack every single person that's got a chopped beef sandwich across their face and just be like, look, I don't mind if you like a chopped beef sandwich. I don't mind a chopped beef sandwich. I'm okay with it. But if you haven't had it sliced and without sauce first, without bread, then you don't know what this place is capable of. All right, you don't know what any place is capable of. Anybody can chop up a brisket and sauce it and put it on a bun and say that's great barbecue. But that doesn't make it great barbecue. Cody said, by the way, if you like Mexican food, right up the hill on 79 from here, less than a mile, is a place called Habacus. Best Mexican food around. I know you're a promoter of barbecue, but just letting you know. I don't mind a good Mexican joint. Although, I mean, I like salsa. And so the Mexican food itself, I can take or leave. I've never had something that was so good that I was like, I'm just coming back for that. I go back for the salsa. And that's why I love El Chico's, because I think it has the best salsa in town. So I just eat chips and salsa, and then we just get some nachos, and that's fine. I'm not there for the nachos. I'm there for the chips and salsa. But you feel bad if you go in and eat chips and salsa and then walk out of the joint, right? You feel like a terrible person. So I don't do that. Anyway, so official review, thumbs up for Smokin' Jay's over in Minden. If you get a chance, ride over there. If you see Josh, tell him I said hello. Hopefully he's listening and enjoyed the segment. And, again, it's fabulous, man. Get over there and enjoy it. It was really good. Hambone got his fill. I got my fill. I got some pudding on the way back, and Rogers got to watch me eat pudding while I was driving down the interstate. He was getting scared. He was white-knuckling that door a few times. It was pretty funny. Yeah, he had the fake brake on the side. 318 said sweet beans or meaty beans. Well, they're kind of the pork and bean style, right? The smaller bean. But then he puts a little sugar in them. There's a little tomato in there. There's a little spice in there. He puts a little spice or some kick. He does put brisket in it. And then my favorite is he doesn't chop up the jalapenos and the onions in there. I hate crunchiness in my beans. I want my beans to be smooth. I want them to have that sort of, I don't want to say mushy. Mushy's the wrong word. But I want that texture. I don't want crunch in my beans. But it's a simple bean, but it's got very complex flavors. But again, he does put brisket in the beans itself. And so that makes it even better. That gives you that nice little brisket chew on it. Oh, it's fantastic. Again, by the way, phone numbers. I forgot to give you phone numbers. If you want to call, apparently everybody knows the text line because everybody's texting me. You want phone line, 318-320-1130, 318-320-1130. You want text, 318-657-0HAM, 318-657-0426. Rogers is now going to pummel me in the break because that was a 31-minute first segment. And we got two guests in the 4 o'clock hour, so Hambone's not happy right now. I gotta get some short segments in. Craig Way, the voice of the Texas Longhorns, joins us at 4:05. Ralph Russo, lead college football writer for the AP, joins us at 4:30. It's the Patrick Netherton Show.
I hear you calling, but I can't come home right now.
Locally owned and operated, Chevyland has just a cornucopia of 2019 Chevy Silverados and Silverado 2500 HDs up to 10% off through GM Financial or 0% financing with $1,500 off on all crew cabs. Slide on in to a brand new Silverado at Chevyland. We care about you.
Do you have a child that is accident prone, has lip or tongue tie, or diagnosed with a medical condition? We can help. At Shreveport Mosier Family Dental Care for Kids, Dr. Brian Stewart and Dr. Stephanie Fan-Garrett make it a personal goal for your child's dental experience to be pain-free and fun. Your child can experience interactive games at check-in, a trip to Alien Avenue for dental cleanings, or receive their dental repairs at one of our 8 Planet Rooms. This space is filled with fun dental experiences that will leave you loving us to the moon and back. Visit us at ShreveportMosierKids.com.
In Louisiana, there are thousands of miles of utility lines and gas pipelines buried just beneath the surface, sometimes multiple lines in one area. So if you or a contractor you hire is digging a hole to put in a new fence or a pool or for any other reason, you run the risk of hitting underground lines even by digging just a few inches. And then what happens? Maybe you knock out power to your neighborhood, and sometimes it's even worse. Sometimes there's an explosion with injuries or possibly even death. It does happen every year, and there's a simple way to avoid it. Before you dig, call 811. That's right, just call 811 2 days before you dig and tell the operator your address. Someone will come out and mark the locations of the buried lines so you and your contractor can avoid them. It's simple, right? And it's free of charge. And it's the law. Louisiana One Call operates 811 as a public service, and to promote public safety, Louisiana One Call and 1130 The Tiger reminds you, call 811 and know what's below before you dig.
One thing's for sure, the left-wing liberals aren't going to like him. Eddie Risponi for governor.
I'm Eddie Risponi. I'm 100% pro-life, a lifelong outdoorsman, and a businessman who's created thousands of jobs.
Eddie Risponi, a governor who will grow record jobs. Always protect the Second Amendment and enforce state immigration law, no matter how much the socialist protest crowd whines about it.
I stand with President Trump on immigration. The media says that's racist. What a bunch of politically correct nonsense. I'll stand with President Trump to ban sanctuary cities, require work for welfare benefits, and give voters the right to approve serious tax reform.
A plan so easy, a career politician could do it.
They never will.
Boom, there it is.
I'm Eddie Risponi. I'm a businessman, not a career politician, and I'm asking for your vote.
Paid and authorized by Eddie Risponi for governor.
O'Reilly. This is Sarah's O'Reilly Auto Parts story.
Driving cross-country with 2 young children is ambitious, to say the least. Then our check engine light came on. We pulled into O'Reilly Auto Parts and they tested it. Turned out it was a faulty sensor. They referred us to a great mechanic just down the street, and we were back on the road in no time.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Howdy, folks. It's me, Colonel Sanders, about to do a little ditty called Mac and Cheese Bowl $5 Phillips. Mac and Cheese Bowl $5 Phillips. Oh, dang it. Mac and Cheese Bowl $5 Phillips. Try it again. Mac and Cheese Bowl $5 Phillips. I want yummy, yummy noodles and ooey gooey cheese and crispy, juicy popcorn nuggets. Oh, can't even make it to the part about the cookie and the Pepsi. Just try my new Mac and Cheese Bowl $5 Phillips at KFC. It's finger-licking good. Limited time only. Prices and participation may vary. Tax extra.
Where Shreveport and Bossier come for LSU Sports, 1130 The Tiger.
Let's get to the meat of the matter with producer Rogers Hampton.
Hey, boy!
Here's your master of ceremonies, Patrick Netherton.
Welcome you back to the Patrick Netherton Show right here on 1130 The Tiger. He's Hambone, a.k.a. Little Smokey. Went to Smokin' Jay's and, well, he thought he was going to find one thing, and he did get high, but it was a barbecue high. He got high on barbecue sauce and meat. Not what he was expecting. Was expecting way more leafy greens there and ultimately ended up with a lot of beef and pork. But that's all right. We welcome you back to the show right here on 1130 The Tiger. Again, find us on the Facebook Live. We can... Yeah, that's more of what Hambone was expecting. Now, he did get Ozzy at one point. Yeah, well, you can't not recognize Ozzy. All right, well, you can't not know what Ozzy was. Yeah, Raj was expecting something different when Smokin' Jay's was brought up. He's like, Smokin' Jay's? Well, I do that every night. Why do I go to Minden? I need to go to Minden for that. Got a couple of texts. If you want to text us, you can. 318-657-0-HAM. 318-657-0426. 318 says, have you tried the brisket at Bad Wolf Barbecue in Ruston? No, but that is one of my spots that I'm planning on going to. I do want to get over to Bad Wolf. I've heard good things. I definitely want to get over there at some point. Just a matter of when am I going to take an hour to go over to Ruston. And if it wouldn't have been so late, I might have stopped on my way back from Alabama, but it was already 8 o'clock at that point. 318 says, I need barbecue places to eat between here and Austin. Go LSU. Austin? Just go to Austin and eat. Just throw a rock in Austin and go. You'll be fine at that point. No, if you go to Lockhart, Texas, which is kind of around Austin, I don't know the exact way you'll be going, but Lockhart, Texas is very good. There's Black's, there's Kreutz's Market. Both are fantastic. In Lockhart, it's considered the barbecue capital of the world. You can go to, obviously you can go to Riverport if you want to take a slight detour to Jefferson. You can go to Stanley's Famous in Tyler. You can go to the Bodacious Barbecue on Mobberly in Longview. As you kind of go west on 20, and then as you dip down, there's a good place in Waco. I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head. There's places in Belton. There's places in Austin all over the place. Style Switch, Black's, can't think of the first name now. It's Terry Black's. You've got La Barbecue. You've got Franklin's, of course. It's going to be a zoo in Austin, so don't try to go to Franklin's is all I'm saying, unless you're going really early. But there are barbecue joints everywhere. I would highly recommend that you just get on the Texas Monthly page and find their map. They have a barbecue map, and that's what I use. That's got all the top 50 joints. But there are a ton of places. As you go west on 20, Longview, Tyler, Jefferson, on down, Austin has a ton of places. Lockhart, right outside of Austin, and then Mueller's. I think it's Mueller's. Louis Mueller's in, and now the name escapes me. It's right outside of Austin. It's like just east of Austin. So, look, can't miss it. There's 50 bajillion places as you go through Texas. 318 says, let's talk Astros. Why? They're just boring. All they do is just win. Oh, ho-hum. A no-hitter for Justin Verlander, and he struck out 1 million. And it took, what's-his-face, the Bull. It took the Bull. By the way, he's a Canadian. The Canadian Bull
back home in his homeland.
Yeah.
Had the 2-run homer in the top of the ninth, and then got the final out in the bottom of the ninth for the Verlander no-hitter.
Yeah.
But they did lose last night, so Hinch needs to go.
Oh, well, I honestly didn't even check on
they
him
lost last night. He needs to be fired.
They who'd they lose to?
Where are they? Toronto.
Well, is the last game in Toronto? Because they're not playing today. So today has to be a travel day.
I think it was, yes.
Last game in Toronto?
Yes.
By the way, while you weren't looking, Verlander and Cole became the first two pitchers to throw back-to-back games with 14 strikeouts in history, I think. That was 2 nights ago after the no-hitter. Man. As an Astros fan, this takes you back to the 80s when Mike Scott and Nolan Ryan were at the top of that rotation, just fanning people left and right. This is just something else. Raj, Cody says, let's talk about the Astros excelling through the regular season and then blowing it in the playoffs again.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Really?
Yeah, Rogers was. I knew Rogers would enjoy
Come on,
that.
man. Got to be something a little stronger than that. They won the World Series in 2017. There's nothing you can ever say. You must be a Rangers fan.
Yeah. They hadn't won anything.
Yeah,
anytime.
You went back-to-back and sucked both years.
318 said, get your thoughts on UT-LSU. We'll go way more into depth on this
we're
Thursday
saving
and
that
Friday.
kind of for the fourth.
But I will give you kind of and Rogers got to hear me break it down. A buddy of mine in Iowa called me to do
it was awesome, man. You had an interview to do.
Yeah, I was doing
that. You were the guest.
Well, so we're sitting in Menden at Smoking Jay's. And by the way, Cody said he's just kidding, Raj.
I know.
Raj can take it.
Yeah.
So,
like I said, with the Saints, the one world championship, I'm good for until
you die.
I'm just looking for the light at the end of the tunnel now, buddy.
And now it's not a train.
Yeah.
So we're sitting at the restaurant Smoking Jay's over in Menden, and at 1 o'clock we weren't Smoking Jay's in Menden. We were at the restaurant Smoking Jay's in Menden.
I keep forgetting.
Yeah. So
that's what that stuff does to you, man.
I'm telling you, forget things. Exactly.
What?
Who are you?
What?
So we're sitting there, and I get a call at 1 o'clock, and I'd forgotten that I was supposed to do an interview with a guy in Iowa because he was looking for someone to break down the LSU-Tennessee game, the LSU-Texas game. It would have been bad if I was breaking down the LSU-Tennessee game. Well, they're better than Georgia State, so they're going to beat Tennessee. It's LSU-Texas, obviously, and he called me to do it. Oh, crap, I forgot I had this interview at 1. We're still sitting there. We're kind of wrapping up the meal. And I get on, hey, can you call me back in 10 minutes? I'm wrapping up a business meeting, right? And he's like, yeah, absolutely, no problem. So I hang up and I go, I forgot I've got an interview at 1. And Rogers goes, what? I'm like, no. I'm not recording an interview at 1 to do on my show.
I was like, you're damn right you're not.
No, exactly.
You're sitting in a barbecue restaurant in Menden.
Right. And I was like, I'm the guest of an
I didn't bring the station with me.
Right. So then the entire way back, Rogers got to hear me really break down the LSU-Texas game in depth. And I'll do that probably Thursday or probably Friday, to be honest with you. But I will give you kind of my first blush at this, and that is that Texas being down to 1 running back is very problematic because that gives Dave Aranda the opportunity to play pass and dare them to run. Normally you think of defensive coaches, they play the run and dare you to throw. Well, this gives him the opportunity to back everyone off and say, look, you've got 1 back. If that guy can beat us, and look, we know Ellinger can run. They're not going to try to run him a ton, but he will have some run game in there. He's a big kid. But I think Aranda will play a little bit more conservatively on the back end just to see if he can handle up front their 1 running back. And if they can just handle it up front, then Texas is in real trouble. Because Aranda will be able to drop 7, rush 4, and if that can stop their run game, then Aranda can do whatever he wants. At that point, he can dial up anything. He can rush any way he wants to. He can blitz any way he wants to. If they can't establish some semblance of a running game with that 1 tailback and Ellinger, then they're in real trouble. If Texas can run effectively, then that makes Aranda have to change his strategy a little bit. Offensively, I think it's going to be a lot of fun to watch Joe Burrow. Finally, Joe Burrow is in an offense where he excels. We talked about this yesterday. Burrow has been running this offense his entire life. He's never been under center. He's been in the shotgun. He's running the spread. And basically, the spread, the way it works with that inside-outside zone and the read option stuff, it's all a numbers game at that point, and it's a lot of pre-snap reads. Burrow comes to the line of scrimmage. He gets everyone set. Let's say it's 4 wide or 3 wide and an H-back and a back next to Burrow. He's in the shotgun. He looks at the defense. He says, there's 6 guys in the box. Well, I've got an H-back, so I've got 6 guys to block. I'm running it because I've got as many guys as they have, so the back should be able to find a hole. Everyone should be able to make their block. They've got 5 in the box, and I'm 4 wide. Still a good opportunity to run because it's 5-on-5 at that point. Back should be okay. And especially if you're running the actual read option stuff, then Burrow becomes the 6th guy in the backfield in that scenario. Then if he looks and they've got 6 in the box and I've only got 5 blockers, they've got 7 in the box, I've only got 5 blockers or 6 blockers, well, now it becomes, okay, where's my advantage on the outside? I've got to find who's got the number advantage. I got a 3 receivers set. I got trips to the boundary over here on my right, and they've only got 3 defenders. Well, I'm going to throw a bubble screen because 2 guys are going to get blocked, and I feel like my receiver can make a play on the other guy. Or if it's 3-on-2, it's an automatic bubble screen. It's automatic toss out there. Or if the other side, it's I've got straight man coverage, but they're playing off. Boom, it's a quick hitch to the outside. It's a 1-yard pass, and he's going to turn that into a 5-yard gain. The short passing game in the spread offense becomes the running game for a lot of these teams. Now, they're still going to hand off to Clyde Edwards-Helaire on the inside zone, the outside zone. They're going to run power. They're going to run all that normal stuff. But if he looks over and Justin Jefferson it is Justin, right? Jordan. I can't remember which one was the quarterback and which one's the receiver. Yeah, Jordan Jefferson was the quarterback, right? I always get him confused. So, he looks over and the DB is 8 yards off of Jefferson. He's just going to turn and throw him the hitch real quick, and Jefferson's going to get 5 yards. And that's great. That's what you're looking for. This is an offense that's predicated on getting 4 yards at a time. It doesn't seem that way, but it's predicated on, at the very least, let's get 4 yards because that keeps us in front of the chains, so to speak. So I think ultimately you're going to find that LSU in this offense is going to make things bad for Texas because you've got a quarterback who can make quick decisions, and it's all about his decision-making. He comes to the line, he counts, he's reading, he's looking, he's running read option inside, he's reading the defensive end crashing in, or he's reading the outside linebacker. He's pulling it out, he's running. Now he's got an option on the outside to throw if he wants, or he's going to keep it depending on what the defenders do. This is a perfect offense for Joe Burrow because he's a good decision maker. He makes decisions quickly, and he's going to do the right thing. And when a quarterback in that offense does the right thing and reads things correctly, it is a nearly impossible offense to defend because the defense can never be right. Now, the defense can obviously make plays. You can be right. Shai Werts, Raj, for Georgia Southern, could have been right on every single play, but they just don't have the horses to hold up to LSU. Somebody's going to get blown up. No matter how perfect your play is, how good your read is, somebody's going to make a play. So that, to me, is the real issue here is can Texas confuse Joe Burrow at all, or is he going to be able to get to the line of scrimmage, read the defense, make his count correct? Are they going to start with 5 in the box and then sneak a 6th guy in if right at the snap so that it throws off his read? What's that going to be like? What's that chess game going to be like? That, to me, is the most fascinating thing. And I think LSU wins. I think they win by double digits. Not 20. I think they win by 10, 11, 12, something like that. All right, let's take a break. I know we got to get breaks in. Rogers is mad at me. There you go. Sweet Days of Summer, Jasmine in Bloom. Didn't Hester play this earlier? Yeah. I want to wait. He played one of these soft rock songs. I don't remember which one. Anyway, let's take a break. We'll come back. We've got to talk about Ezekiel Elliott. And then 4:05, we're going to talk to Craig Way, the voice of the Texas Longhorns. And we'll discuss all of the UT stuff with him. And then Ralph Russo, the lead college football writer of the Associated Press, at 4:30. Big show. Patrick Netherton Show, like a summer breeze.
Summer breeze makes me feel fine, blowing through the jasmine in my mind. Oh, O'Reilly.
If you hear squealing and grinding noises from your vehicle, it's time for new brakes. Right now at O'Reilly Auto Parts, when you buy any set of Brake Best pads and any 2 Brake Best rotors, you'll save 10% on your total purchase. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Limits apply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
The Starlight Lounge presents An Evening with the Progressive Box.
Oh, what a great audience. Let's dim the lights for this next one. Nope, too much. There it is. Gotta get things just right. Like Progressive's Name Your Price tool. Tell us what you want to pay, and we help you find coverage options that fit your budget. And now, the mood is right. Wait, the lights are back on again. Trudy, can you? And now it's completely dark.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
One of the cool guys I know, Rogers Hampton Jr. here. How cool do you like your house to be?
Hey, man, I like it to be my high school football number, 34 degrees.
Celsius or Fahrenheit?
I don't know. What do those mean?
I don't know either. We're going to the metric system soon. Book it.
I know who we can call to find out.
AccuTemp, 861-2255, 861-2255.
Welcome back to Amazon Prime one-day delivery trivia. Now to the next question. If Adam can get a chainsaw in 1 day with Amazon Prime one-day delivery, and Sharon can get a leaf blower in 1 day with one-day delivery, what are the odds their neighbor will order noise-canceling headphones with Amazon Prime one-day delivery? Yes, Sarah.
Pretty good?
Correct. Introducing one-day delivery from Amazon Prime. Order from millions of items. Peace and quiet delivered.
Your clients want beautiful floors that stay beautiful. You want clients that stay happy after the job is done. Home Decorators Collection water-resistant 8mm flooring, exclusively from the Home Depot, is a laminate you can stand behind because it stands up to demanding homeowners. They get the beauty they want. You get to give them a quote that will floor them. Home Decorators Collection water-resistant 8mm laminate, just $158 a square foot, only at the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. U.S. only. See store for details.
Every day is a great day when you're at Buffalo Wild Wings. Lunch, happy hour, dinner, or late night, you're going to find great deals in both the bar and the dining room. Like every Thursday when boneless wings are specially priced all day long. The weekend starts on Thursday at Buffalo Wild Wings. Visit BuffaloWildWings.com for your location.
I was in the United States Army for 12 years, and if we had a stressful time, we'd say, hey, let's go smoke a cigarette. The further I got away from the military, being in corporate environments and it not being as prevalent, being around smokers, I would become the odd man out. The first time I actually tried Juul, I was surprised at how similar it was to a cigarette.
Chris made the switch in 2018. To make the switch, visit JUUL.com. Juul Labs compensated this individual for their time and expenses in providing this testimonial. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
11:30 The Tiger, your home for LSU sports, powered by Jack Spring Electric.
Join Mark Patrick Hypnosis and lose all the weight. 100% money back guaranteed.
After this hypnosis, I want to eat good food.
I can honestly say I have not had one potato chip.
And I don't think about desserts like I used to.
I lost a total of 83 pounds. It's easy, it's fun, very relaxing, and very successful.
And I would just say go for it.
And only $49.99 guaranteed. Allow hypnosis to destroy unwanted cravings, late day eating binges, boredom eating, stress eating. Also stop smoking with Mark Patrick Hypnosis. No matter how many times you tried to quit, hypnosis is designed to destroy your desire to smoke without cravings, irritability, weight gain, or your money back. Join the over 500,000 others who have attended and stopped smoking the Mark Patrick way. That's right, Seminar Sunday, September 22nd at the Shreveport Wyndham Garden Hotel. Weight loss seminar 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Stop smoking seminar 2 to 4 p.m. And Monday, September 23rd at the Marshall Lyons Community Center. Weight loss seminar 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. Stop smoking seminar 8 to 10 p.m. More info at markpatrickseminars.com.
KWKH, Shreveport, Bossier City. 11:30 The Tiger, Shreveport and Bossier's #1 sports station.
Floating through the airwaves like smooth hickory smoke, Patrick Netherton.
You don't get enough songs that feature... It's like a trumpetist? It's like a trumpet and a keyboard together? I don't know. It's kind of weird.
You got more, but you just don't understand.
It's the Patrick Netherton Show right here on 11:30 The Tiger. Coming up in 10 minutes, we'll talk to the voice of the Texas Longhorns. He is Craig Way. I'm going to ask him if the running back situation for Texas is a real issue or if it's something that's been overblown by LSU fans. Because, LSU fans are talking about it. Woo! Oh, there's only one running back. Only one running back. Look, I even mentioned it in my sort of preview. They do only have really one starting running back right now. It's going to be interesting. Going to be interesting. Sporting News predicts that a Texas win, 31-28. I'm predicting an LSU win, but I'll give you more of that as we go along. But we're going to talk to the guy, Craig Way. Oh, by the way, while you weren't looking, Cowboys fans, apparently your guy got inked. I guess that's why Jerry Jones was on Wall Street this morning, was to try to find more money to pay Zeke Elliott. Becomes the highest paid running back in the history of the NFL. $50 million guaranteed, under contract through 2020. Or he was under contract, was under contract through 2020. Now, under contract through 2026, and his full deal is over $100 million. Jerry Jones saying, quote, I'm $100 million lighter as of this morning. Zeke has been arguably our best player. By the way, why he was in New York? Because he was ringing the bell in the stock exchange. He was ringing the opening bell. And that's why I said he's there. He was there because his company is buying out another company for like $2.2 billion or something. Something ridiculous. So I figured he was just up there trying to get more money to sign Zeke. By the way, the Cowboys did post the picture of Zeke signing his contract. He was already in Dallas. He was there. Raj, as I said when I did my predictions, I predicted Dallas to go 7-9. I said, however, if Zeke Elliott is there, I think they'll go 9-7. So I will officially revise my prediction to 9-7. I stick with 13-3 for the Saints, and I stick with 11-1 for the LSU Tigers. Although I don't think they'll lose to Bama, I think they'll lose to A&M again. And that'll be a whole other can of worms because that'll end the season. So Jerry Jones said, quote, we're glad to have him. We're glad to get him booked in. We're glad to have him on the team. He plays a position that has some pretty interesting dynamics to it because running backs are short-lived, although we had what I consider to be one of the top 5 greatest ones in Emmitt Smith. Settle down, Jerry. Emmitt Smith ain't one of the top 5 greatest running backs of all time. Rodgers could have had about 8,000 career yards behind that offensive line that he was running behind. Emmitt's a good runner, don't get me wrong. He's a good back. He is not one of the 5 best running backs in the history of the game. Period. End of discussion. I don't want to hear an argument. Walter Payton, Jim Brown, Gale Sayers, Barry Sanders. There you go. I'll give you those to start with. Then maybe we can start talking about Emmitt floating around in there somewhere. But he ain't top 5. Jerry said, Emmitt ran the ball for 13 years, so you don't have to have a 4 or 5 year career to be a running back. On the other hand, Zeke allows us to create such problems for the defense that he can open it up to our passing, opening it up for Dak Prescott. Of course, we've got to have some guys on defense to get those guys the ball. That's what this is all about. They'll save about $1.6 million in cap room this year on Elliott's deal. He'll receive a signing bonus of $7.5 million. His base salary this year, Raj, $750,000. But, the $7.5 million signing bonus, he'll literally get a check for $7.5 million. Or I'm sure they'll take taxes out of it, so it'll be like $1 million. But he'll get no, actually, Texas is reasonably favorable in that way. So Zeke just doesn't need to buy property. Is Texas don't have property? No, Texas doesn't have property taxes. I think that's right. I know we have property taxes. Anyway, no, Texas does have property taxes. They don't have sales tax, as I recall. Anyway, it's one of those things. I think they have property tax. But it's like that's their big thing is they tax property really, really heavily. I don't own property in Texas, so I don't really know. Let's see. Cody chimed in and said he thinks 12-4 for the Cowboys, and that Zeke is taunting the Giants. He thought Jerry was taunting the Giants by being in New York doing that. And Bucko sent in an image. Let's see. Judge Lewis Kaplan has ruled in favor of federal prosecutors and denied the NCAA access to evidence from the Hoops corruption trial, the FBI investigation. Once upon a time, the government said the entire point of the operation was to expose such things. Some coaches breathing easy tonight. Well, there you go. That's from our boy Dan Wetzel, who we've had on multiple times. So it looks like Will Wade will skate completely on this thing. They will not, if the NCAA doesn't get the evidence that the FBI people had from that trial, then I don't know that they're going to be able, unless they can find a way to get it on their own, Will Wade's going to skate scot-free, even though there was an alleged wiretap of him talking about paying players. Amazing. Crazy how this thing works. All right, let's take a break. Craig Way, the voice of the Texas Longhorns, will join us next on the Patrick Netherton Show.
With version.
Welcome to Walk-On's Bistro and Bar, where every dish starts from scratch. Fresh ingredients bring our food to life. Mouth-watering cuisine, unique flavors, and we're always more than happy to share our Southern charm and culture. A love of life, family, food, friends, fun, sports, and celebrations. Walk-Ons. It's game day with the taste of Louisiana.
Tee it up at Edwin Watts Golf Shops this year with the new 2019 fall arrivals. Introducing the strikingly new T-Series irons from Titleist, featuring the T100 iron designed as a player's iron, the T200 iron, a player's distance iron, and the T300 iron, the complete game improvement iron. All pure Titleist. Let us help you find the right set and get custom fit today. Just a few of the new releases you'll find at Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home with a 90-day 100% satisfaction guarantee, serving golfers since 1968.
4 new 85-inch big screens, 7 new 65-inch screens, state-of-the-art audio. You need to see the game at the newly remodeled Buffalo Wild Wings in Shreveport. Come celebrate the grand reopening of Buffalo Wild Wings on Uri Drive. It's a whole new experience.
Your weekend starts on Thursday at Buffalo Wild Wings. Every Thursday, boneless wings are specially priced all day long at Buffalo Wild Wings. Yup, Thursday is the day you can grab your favorite beer, watch the game, and get your meaty boneless wings at a great price. Visit BuffaloWildWings.com for your location.
Welcome back to Amazon Prime one-day delivery trivia. Now to the next question. If Adam can get a chainsaw in 1 day with Amazon Prime one-day delivery, and Sharon can get a leaf blower in 1 day with one-day delivery, what are the odds their neighbor will order noise-canceling headphones with Amazon Prime one-day delivery? Yes, Sarah.
Pretty good?
Correct. Introducing one-day delivery from Amazon Prime. Order from millions of items. Peace and quiet delivered.
Your clients want beautiful floors that stay beautiful. You want clients that stay happy after the job is done. Home Decorators Collection water-resistant 8mm flooring, exclusively from the Home Depot, is a laminate you can stand behind because it stands up to demanding homeowners. They get the beauty they want. You get to give them a quote that will floor them. Home Decorators Collection water-resistant 8mm laminate, just $158 a square foot, only at the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. U.S. only. See store for details.
Fall is just around the corner, and that means hunting season is here. No one has a better selection of gear and accessories than Nichols. Guns to ammo, deer stands to feeders, Nichols has any and all things you'll ever need to have a successful 2019 hunting season. They also offer some of the best brands of hunting and fishing apparel for both men and women. Like they say, Nichols has what you're looking for. To find a Nichols department store near you, go to nichols-stores.com.
Life is all about taking advantage of the opportunities that present themselves and also creating those advantages. And if you are with First Choice Personnel, Nicole, you've got an advantage over everybody else, right?
You do. Actually, once you are registered with us, we're able to send your resume over to our employer as opposed to the employer receiving 600 resumes. You know, you'd be one person opposed to a bunch.
I like that. One person instead of a bunch. First Choice Personnel. Make First Choice your last call. 797-7810.
1130 The Tiger, your home for LSU sports, powered by Jack Spring Electric, where Shreveport and Bossier come for LSU sports. 1130 The Tiger.
A good time is in the air. It's the Patrick Netherton Show.
We welcome you back. Boy, it is miserably hot out there, so please be careful, everyone. I can't wait to sweat through my my shirt when comes time to broadcast on Friday and Saturday. It is going to be pretty crazy. Speaking of guys who broadcast on Fridays and Saturdays, back on the Patrick Netherton Show, we welcome in the voice of the Texas Longhorns. He also does a lot of work for high school football in the state of Texas. He is Craig Way. Craig, how are you, my friend?
I'm great, Patrick. Great to be on with you. How you doing?
Man, I am good. So everyone in Louisiana, everyone seems to be able to talk about is the running backs for Texas. Are they down to you at this point? Like, what's going on with the running back core for UT, man?
I've been asked a few times if I had any eligibility remaining, which is interesting because I was never asked if I had any eligibility remaining when I actually had eligibility remaining. So, it's been that kind of week, and it's been that kind of really going back really into August. It's been that kind of fall camp. It's just I've never seen anything like it. I know Tom Herman was asked at his news conference if he'd ever heard of anything like that, let alone see anything like that. He said no, he'd never even heard of one position losing 5 running backs since the spring, and 4 of them being scholarship running backs. So it's definitely taken its toll. There's no question about that.
Well, and that being said, Craig, you do happen to have a somewhat of an extra runner in the backfield with Ellinger. Does this become a game where he gets more designed runs, you think, more work himself as opposed to just trying to scramble and make things happen?
Well, Patrick, I think he's going to run the ball more anyway than what he ran against, La Tech last
Sure.
week. I think he'll, if you look at the higher profile games or the more crucial games that Texas has had, mainly in conference play, but also in the Sugar Bowl, at that point, Sam Ellinger was carrying it double-digit times. So I think we'll see that happen, not only by necessity, but also by design this week, because he is a bit of a weapon in the way he can run the football. So I think we'll see that. I don't think they'll go overboard. I don't think you're going to see Sam carry it 20 to 25 times, something like that. But he'll carry it but they only had one true design running play called for him. He put it down a couple other times and ran when there wasn't anyone open, but there was only one real true design run play called last week against La Tech. So I think we'll see more of it against LSU this week.
A lot was made about Jamar Smith last week throwing for over 300 yards, but as I'm quick to point out to folks, a lot of that was in mop-up time. It was, as our friend Brent Musburger might say, garbage time at that point. I'm curious, a lot is made of Texas and the DBU and LSU and the DBU. A lot is kind of going back and forth about that. I've got to imagine that UT feels like that back end of the defense is really the stalwarts and what they feel like their strength is. Am I wrong in saying that?
Not at all, Patrick. I think they do feel that's put it this way. It's where they have the most depth. I think it's where they have among their defensive players their most talented core. Now they've got some young guys back there. There's no doubt about it. There's some guys there who that are redshirt freshmen or sophomores, but there are guys who are sophomores and juniors certainly who got a lot of reps last year. I mean, probably the best of the group is Caden Stearns, and he's preseason All Big 12, and he's only a sophomore. Now Brandon Jones is kind of the anchor back there, along with B.J. Foster. Foster's only a sophomore. Jones is a senior, but there's not a lot of guys who are long in the tooth. So there's some young guys there, and they will make mistakes on occasion. But there are some guys that are pretty talented that can get to the football and get in position to make a play as well.
A lot was made after the big win last year, the bowl win of Ellinger getting there and saying we're back on the podium and all that. I know that probably has to be, I guess, to somewhat cringeworthy in one way, but also pretty galvanizing in another way. What's it been like watching this kid who, an Austin kid, he's been a UT guy, knew he was going to UT from the beginning, even through the coaching change, knew he was staying. What's it been like watching him sort of, I don't say on his own, but he has been a very big galvanizing force in this program. What's that been like watching him?
Well, you're right, Patrick. I think he's grown. I think he's matured a bit. Yeah, there was the comment made there on the stage, and he's feeling the moment, and Holly Rose asking him the question. It's the big hook. I mean, and for folks who don't know, that goes all the way back to Joe Tessitore, who said it, after that Labor Day Sunday night win, I guess, over Notre Dame, where he proclaimed Texas is back. Nobody in Texas said that. That was Joe who did that, and all of a sudden it became a cry of derision for those who got the better of Texas, especially during Charlie Strong's final year. But even since that, Tom Herman has said all along, I don't know what that means. And in truth, he said to say we're back is kind of like a point of finality, and that's not complimentary, because he said we're always trying to get better, always trying to work toward that. I think what Stan was trying to say is, we're back on the national stage again. Are they? Well, this week will tell an awful lot about it. But Sam's grown and matured since then, I think, and the stuff we saw from him last Saturday, I think, saw little glimpses of that and the things he's had to say in fall camp. And there have been some reporters here in town this week that tried to get him to take the bait a little bit, take a poke, try to get him, if you will, to go a little bit of Caleb Chase on, and he didn't do it, and just said, "I'm going to." And by the way, that's a bit of trivia thing. I was calling the state championship game for Fox going on 4 years ago in 2015, and Sam had Westlake in the finals against North Shore with Caleb who was anchoring that defensive front. They had an incredible game, went overtime, and Westlake missed a chip shot field goal, and North Shore ended up winning the game in overtime. So it's, there's the one other a little bit of trivia that links those two as they get ready to see each other on Saturday.
I've got to imagine, talking to Craig Way, the voice of the Longhorns, I've got to imagine that's pretty cool, because you do television work on Fridays for high school football in the state of Texas, then you do the radio network for the Longhorns. That's got to be pretty cool to see guys like Caleb Chase on. Even if they don't end up in the burnt orange, they're off doing something, but you can say you kind of saw them when they were coming into their own as high school juniors and seniors and whatnot. I imagine that's pretty cool for you to then see these guys move on and watch them grow.
Well, it is, and I'll give you two other names. Kyler Murray, called all three of his state championship games when he was playing at Allen before, going on, and, he had his you might say his way station, his stop off in College Station, where he wound up at OU and winning Heisman. But to let folks know exactly, or give them a better feel for just how old I am, I called Westlake's only state championship victory for Fox Southwest back in 1996 when the Chaparrals were quarterbacked by Drew Brees.
Yeah.
So that's how far back that goes, and it's been great. I've been doing it for over 30 years, and really enjoy it. I don't plan to give that up any more than giving up doing the Longhorns. They've kind of been inextricably linked with me. I really enjoy doing both the high school football and doing the Longhorn games.
Well, having seen you up close and personal, Craig, I find it amazing you were doing games at 9 years old, because you definitely do not look like you've been doing games for over 30 years. If you'll allow me to blow if you'll allow me to blow some smoke up your skirt for just a second. Give me, for those that are listening that want to know a little bit about Louisiana Tech. Obviously, you saw them last week. They were overmatched, as you would expect they would be. But what did you see from La Tech, and maybe some folks that are listening in Ruston or around here that are Tech fans? What should they take some heart into going into this season?
Well, I still think they're going to win a lot of ball games and be a contender in CUSA. I don't think there's any doubt about that. And I kind of keep up with what's going on in Conference USA as well, because I went to North Texas.
Yeah.
And obviously, they play in that league, so I kind of keep up with them with what's going on there. But I like Jay Marsden. I think he can be a good weapon for them. And he's obviously, now 28 games as a starter now for that. The Longhorns did a really good job defending Adrian Hardy. I thought that Jalen Green, speaking of those young running backs, did a really fine job on him. But he's going to have his days, and I think they'll find a way to run the ball against a lot of the other opponents. I think they'll still be a contender in Conference USA. I don't think there's any question about that. It's a veteran ball club by and large of what Skip Holtz has. So if I were a Bulldog fan, I wouldn't be too downcast by what happened last week. I think there's better days ahead for them.
Absolutely. Talking to Craig Way, the voice of the Longhorns. What did you make of? I know you've gone back and watched or got to see the LSU game against Georgia Southern. What did you make of the new offense for LSU? Folks in Louisiana have been sold this hey, this is a new offense this year, and it's always the same stuff. But it really does appear like LSU has modernized their offense. It's something you've gotten to watch for a while now at Texas with the spread and the read option, a lot of that stuff. What did you make of what you saw from LSU?
Yeah, they look a lot like the Big 12 offense now. And while some folks may roll their eyes about that with regard to Big 12 versus SEC, the one complementary piece that folks could always point to with the Big 12 is the offense.
Yeah.
And I think LSU has that. They are passing a lot to set up the run, but I think they're still going to run the ball effectively. I don't see them being a ground and pound, 9-6 versus Alabama game type of offense anymore. I do think it's a team that's going to be able to put points on the board. They obviously have a really talented quarterback in Joe Burrow, who looks very much the part of a guy who can play anywhere and has been at 2 hallmark programs now starting at Ohio State. So, the offense, what has been put in, and the synergism, I think, with the offensive staff led by Steve Ensminger, I think that folks are going to see just how explosive this offense can be. And with that defense, yeah, there's a reason they're number 6. There's a reason they're a contender on the national stage. And there's a reason they'll be a legitimate threat in the SEC West.
If you had to pick a guy on UT's squad that you think is maybe not getting the kind of national run that he should be getting, but is a guy that could be someone that maybe rises to prominence or plays a role coming up this game that we'll see, because everyone's going to be tuned into this one. Do you have a guy or two that you look at and say, okay, he's kind of an unknown commodity right now, but this could be a breakout for him?
Well, I would say this. If they are to do what they want to do, to be in position to win, the one of the key question marks going into the season was going to be on the defensive side, and then specifically at the linebacking spot. And Joseph Osai is a guy who comes like he wasn't a starter last year. Much was made of the fact that the Longhorns lost 8 defensive starters, but there were a lot of guys who played a lot of snaps, and he was one of those. In fact, Joe was the leading tackler in the Sugar Bowl. He's one of those hot motor guys that plays with a lot of emotion and all that kind of stuff. He'll be off the edge, and if he has a big game, I think folks will be talking about him. The folks in these parts kind of know a bit about him, but he's really going to be on the front pages, I think, if he has a big-type game on Saturday night. And then on the offensive side, yeah, they're going to have to find a way to run the football. I don't think there's any doubt about it. And Keontae Ingram hasn't had a game where he's carried more than 19 times. That's another guy. You're asking about high school guys. I called a couple of his state championship games when he played at Carthage, not far from where you are over there in East Texas. And he was dynamic. He was something else. And yeah, that was high school, it was 4A and all that kind of stuff. True, but the way that he ran and the way that he had pull-away speed and all that kind of stuff was pretty exciting. I thought this guy, if he stays healthy, could be something big. Well, he hadn't been able to stay healthy. He's put on some more weight this year. He was a little bit sore in fall camp, but he says all of that soreness is gone from his knees. He feels fine. He feels good. And if he has the kind of breakout game, then a lot of folks will be talking about him, and then they'll worry a little less about the lack of depth at the running back spot.
Craig, final thing. Do you have any feel for if you think this may be a defensive battle or if it's going to be kind of an old school, I say old school, new school Big 12 shootout type game?
I think there's going to be a little bit of a taffy pull on both sides. I think you'll see some big plays made on both sides. I could see this being a 28-24, 31-28 kind of game, which is climbing the ladder on points, but it's not like some of the ones we've seen in the Big 12 where you've had 51-48 or 48-45. That was the Texas-Oklahoma score when they played in Dallas last year, was 48-45, and then when they met in the Big 12 championship game, it was 39-27, and it was 27 all going into the fourth quarter. This could be, I don't think it might be to that point, but I do think that it won't be 14-10 either. I'd be surprised if it was. It could be anywhere from the, 24-21 to 31-28 kind of range in my view.
Well, there's no doubt that not only the eyes of Texas, but the eyes of the nation are going to be on Darrell K. Royal. No doubt about that. And Craig, where can we find you if we want to tune into your broadcast of the game? I'm assuming y'all are on Sirius XM and we can find you online and all that.
That's correct, and it will be on Sirius, and I'm going to say it's in the 130s, the channel this week, and the XM channel should be 199, which is a Big 12 channel there. It's online for free at TexasSports.com as well, and and all across the state, obviously, on the Texas Longhorn Radio Network from Learfield IMG College. So,
beautiful.
Yeah, we're out there, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's not hard to find if you know where you're looking. Craig, thank you so much for your time, man. I know you're busy this week, and looking forward to a great one this weekend.
My pleasure, Patrick. Good to see you on.
And tell my boy Gary Reasons I said hello, all right? Calm him down.
I will. There's no doubt about that.
All right, brother. Craig Way, good stuff. Voice of the Longhorns. Awesome. Whew. I'm getting fired up for this game. I'm not going to lie. That's got me going. I'm ready. I'm kind of getting amped up now. And he gave you a couple of names to look out for, including the kid from Carthage, Ingram, the running back. Might be the game he has to shoulder a lot of the load because he's kind of the last man standing at this point. Very interesting. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you got some insight into the Texas Longhorns from Craig Way, the voice of the Longhorns. Very happy and very pleased that he was able to join us and chat a little bit about that. All right, coming up at the bottom of the hour, we're going to talk to Ralph Russo, the lead college football writer for the Associated Press. He's going to join us to break down. We'll talk nationally a little bit, and I'll tell him why his preseason AP poll is garbage. No, actually, I laughed with him about that. We were texting back and forth about trying to set this thing up, and he said, yeah, I don't know if I'm not sure when I can get available, all that stuff, because the AP poll is coming out on Tuesday instead of Monday because of Labor Day. And he's like, so it's kind of everything's a little bit off. I said, yeah, everything's a little bit off with you having a poll at all before October. And he's like, you smart aleck. I was like, yeah, it's me. That's who I am. This is not news, Rogers Hampton. This is not news. All right. So, should we take a break, Hambone? Let's take a break. Good stuff with Craig Way, the voice of the Texas Longhorns. Again, bringing you content you're not getting anywhere else, Hambone. That's what we do. He's Rogers Hampton. I'm Patrick Netherton. We'll take a break. Come back with more of the Patrick Netherton Show. 11:30 The Tiger.
Welcome to Walk-On's Bistro and Bar, where every dish starts from scratch. Fresh ingredients bring our food to life. Mouth-watering cuisine, unique flavors, and we're always more than happy to share our Southern charm and culture. A love of life, family, food, friends, fun, sports, and celebrations. Walk-Ons. It's game day with the taste of Louisiana.
I hear more hammers hammering. I hear more saws buzzing. That tells me, Nicole, that construction is underway throughout town. Nicole from First Choice Personnel joins us, and that means there's some jobs out there.
Absolutely. Right now we have a lot of construction, general labor. Once the weather starts getting warmer, people are always looking for extra help.
Now, does that mean like when someone's having a child, they can go into general labor, or is that construction labor?
I think that's a little bit of both.
Nicole from First Choice Personnel. Make First Choice your last call, 797-7810.
One of the cool guys I know, Rogers Hampton Jr. here. How cool do you like your house to be?
Hey, man, I like it to be my high school football number, 34 degrees.
Celsius or Fahrenheit?
I don't know. What do those mean?
I don't know either. We're going to the metric system soon. Book it.
I know who we can call to find out.
AccuTemp, 861-2255, 861-2255.
ShapenToyota.com. It's open 24/7. Ken Shapen Toyota, Highway 59 in Marshall, Texas, just off I-20. They will bring the cars to you for a test drive. That's what I said. They will bring them from Marshall to Shreveport, Bossier for you to check out. Shapen Toyota.
It takes both vision and skill to create a pool as unique as it is beautiful. A perfect blend of time-honored craftsmanship and cutting-edge technology. The hand, heart, and mind working in perfect sync to create something truly special. A source of timeless relaxation, priceless memories, and endless joy. That is the mission of a master pool builder, and that is the magic of Moorhead Pools.
Good morning, this is Clint McCullough with Bayou Bell Waste. I'm here with my great friend and our GM, Russell Hall. Russell, when I think of Shreveport, I think of great things. I think of Municipal Auditorium, Hirsch Coliseum, right there where the Shreveport Mudbugs play.
And we're excited to announce this year that your hometown dumpster service provider, Bayou Bell Waste, is now the official waste hauler for the Shreveport Mudbugs.
It's something we're really excited about. We're really excited about all the fans coming out, supporting that local team. Support our local team. Bayou Bell Waste, 671-9900.
Or BayouBellWaste.com.
Brewer Quality Homes is knocking it out of the park. Franklin Modular Homes. This really is kind of the future of home buying, home building, home purchasing, all in one spot. Brewer Quality Homes, 3830 East Texas, the home of Franklin Modular Homes. I had a feeling that when I decided to move our teeth over to Cormier Family Dentistry that we were in good hands. Doctors Adam and Jana Cormier certainly are top-notch dentists, but I didn't realize that they had all the equipment to make dentistry so robotic, so futuristic. I feel like I'm the Terminator of teeth now. But here's the deal. Their staff, so friendly, so kind, so warm, and so stinking funny. I enjoyed my dental visit. Who does that? Well, you do when you go to Cormier Family Dentistry. 868-4072, 868-4072.
It's kind of fun, Rogers and Adam, to see a business take on the big box stores and still thrive like Sports World. You know?
Still holding their own.
Still holding their own. And Rogers, you had a kiddo that played soccer.
Yes.
All growing up.
Yes. And we needed equipment. We needed shin guards. We needed soccer balls. We needed headbands. We needed water bottles. I needed an ice chest. And that was just when she was a kid. It's been there since 1973 when I was 9 years old. So guess what I needed back then? I needed a bat. I needed a ball. I needed a glove. I needed some cleats. I needed
Sports
a
World,
headset.
8809 Jewella.
Want to remind you guys, every single Friday on the Tim Fletcher Show, we feature Forkum Friday guests from the Northwestern State University Demon Football Squad. Oh, Brad Laird and the Demons are fired up for another fall of football in Demon Land. Forkum Fridays on the Tim Fletcher Show.
11:30 The Tiger, Shreveport's home for sports.
Let's get to the meat of the matter with producer Rogers Hampton.
Hey, boy!
Here's your master of ceremonies, Patrick Netherton.
Welcome you back to the Patrick Netherton Show right here on 1130 The Tiger. Pleased to have you with us. Thanks again to Craig Way, voice of the Texas Longhorns, for joining us. Got a couple of responses to that we'll get to. Text line again, 318-657-0HAM, 318-657-0426. Raj, remember I was asking about the property taxes in Texas? I couldn't remember exactly how that worked. 903 jumped in and said, Texas has property taxes but no state taxes, and there's no sales tax on certain foods. That's what it was. There's not a like, you know, you have to pay like federal and Louisiana income tax. Well, they don't have that in the state of Texas, but they get you for property. Cajun Rob said, well, that interview with Craig Way scared the poop emoji out of me. That's why they play the game. Look, you can't think that the voice of the Longhorns isn't going to come on and be confident about his team, and he's got good reason. What are they, 9th now in the polls? I mean, again, you know how I feel about polls, but I only dance on them. But that's my reverse stripping, Raj, where I start with my clothes off and they pay me to put my clothes back on. But, yeah, you got to expect that he's going to be confident in what his team's up to. So I'm not surprised by that in any way. But at the same time, this is a dude that's, you know, he knows his team, and he knows his team has they've got a lot going on, and Ellinger is the number one thing that's happening. And I would say, you know, they're down to one running back, but Ellinger is basically a running back there. I mean, he's not going to run a ton, but they're definitely going to have to run him to be successful. And so that doesn't necessarily surprise or shock me in that, you know, Craig Way would be reasonably confident. And again, he didn't take anything away from LSU. He complimented LSU, but yeah, I mean, Texas isn't. You're not going to run over. You're not just going to go in there and beat them 55-3 like you did Georgia Southern. By the way, I heard all the stuff in the morning show about people downgrading Georgia Southern, talking about they're basically an NAIA team. I mean, come on, people. Georgia Southern's a good team, and you should be trying to tell people that Georgia Southern's a good team, because that makes you look better. Because if they're that good, that makes you look better as a result. So, yes, I would say that's definitely the case. Georgia Southern, a good team. The problem is Georgia Southern was running the absolute wrong offense to take on LSU. if you're going to take on LSU, you've got to have some balance. You've got to be able to mix it up a little bit. You've got to be able to run it a bit and throw it a bit. You can't just come out there and only be running the triple. Like, you can't be doing that. That's not how it works. Raj, I'll text him real quick and remind him that we're calling. It was his number. Good. Okay. Just gonna remind Ralph Russo. He's like me. A lot of times I don't answer phone calls from numbers I don't recognize. So that's kind of I'm the same way. If you call me and I don't know your number, chances are you're going to voicemail. You're better off texting me, because I will not answer if it's a number I don't recognize. I got called by my own number the other day. I don't know if you've ever seen that. Like, people are spoofing phone numbers now. So I just texted him. We'll see. We'll give him a second and see if he responds. So I got texted from my own, or called from my own phone number the other day. Yeah, so people are spoofing phone numbers now, and they do it in such a way where you can literally. I had a woman call me one time. She goes, "Why do you keep calling me?" And I'm like, "I have never called you in my entire life. First time I've ever seen this number." And she's like, "Well, you keep calling me." And I'm like, "No, I promise you I don't." I said, "My guess is my number got spoofed, and that's who's calling you." She goes, "Well, you need to stop." And I'm like, "I'm not calling you. Like, I promise I have no reason to call you." And she's like, "Okay, well," she was clearly not convinced that I was doing this, that I somehow was calling. And next thing you know, I called the phone company, and they're like, "Yeah, this is pretty common. Like, people will spoof numbers." And so if you get a phone call that you don't have in your phone book, and it's from the same prefix that yours is, like, let's say your first three numbers are 423, right? That's a cell phone prefix in Shreveport. If you get a call from a 318-423-5149 or whatever, just some random number, chances are it's someone who's having their phone number spoofed. Chances are it's not a legitimate call. So no, I have not. Just wait a second. Yeah, Ralph may be dealing with who knows what. He was actually nice enough to move. Originally, I was supposed to have him at 4 o'clock. And then Craig Wade jumped in, and the only time he could go was 4 o'clock. So Ralph was nice enough to move back for us just a little bit. So no biggie. Ralph's good people, man. He's as good as it comes. And if you don't follow him, his Twitter handle, and I keep getting on to him that we got to change his Twitter handle, because it's Ralph D. Russo AP. There's a lot. It's very involved. There's a lot going on with his Twitter handle. I'm like, look, you need to calm this thing down. Like, give me Russo AP or Ralph Russo or something. Like, Ralph D. Russo AP. Like, that's just too much. It's like at one point the Natchitoches Tourism Bureau, Raj, was Natchitoches.net or something like that. I'm like, do you think anybody can spell Natchitoches? You need to be like, City of Lights or, Steel Magnolia Town or something.
Yes.
It was literally Natchitoches.net.
Pork on Friday. I mean, yes.
Something.
Yes.
I was like, you can't have your tourism bureau be Natchitoches.net. No one knows how to spell that.
You got a better chance of spelling Snackadish.
You have a better chance of spelling almost anything.
Anything.
Yes.
I like the City of Lights thing.
Yeah, something like. I mean, Christmastown.com, something. I mean, you got to have something else because Natchitoches.net ain't cutting it. You ain't getting anybody there. Now, here's my other thing. I wonder, because, a lot of times websites will register other spellings of things that will direct back to their website. And so you'll see other spellings of things. So I wonder if they just put every spelling they could think of for Natchitoches.net. And they're like, okay, if someone put NAKADOSH.net, it'll redirect to Natchitoches.net.
That's why Greg Adams is so smart with the GeekCon thing.
Yeah.
It didn't matter. As long as you got it somewhere near that name, you were going to get a link to it.
Exactly.
Keep it simple, stupid. That's why I'm a Kiss fan.
That's right. and they keep it. And here's the funny thing: keep it simple, stupid. But they are one of the most complex bands
that has ever
makeup
been.
and
yeah.
I mean, just anybody.
Of course, you got to remember the analogy that went with the initial four numbers. I mean, 4 letters. There was Knights and Satan's Service. So their show and act go along more with that analogy. But keep it simple, stupid is a good plan to live by.
318 just chimed in and said, I would vote for any candidate for president if they could put an end to robocalls. Trump, Bernie, Satan. Speaking of knights in Satan's service.
Nick Saban running for president?
No.
Oh,
Satan.
Oh,
Satan.
Satan. Isn't that special?
Who could be behind all these robocalls? Could it be Satan?
Could it be?
Yeah, that's who's behind all the robocalls.
You want me to try again or just wait?
Give him another shot, Raj. Try it again. See what happens. I gave him the phone number just in case. He may be on a call. There's no telling. Ralph's a busy dude, man. He's the freaking lead college football writer for the Associated Press. We're lucky we got any of his time, to be honest with you. Coming on to a show in Shreveport, Louisiana, for goodness sakes. Come on now. He didn't have to do that. So we'll get him hopefully lined up here in just a moment, get him on and talk a little bit about what's going on in the world of college football. I completely forgot yesterday to talk about Georgia State and Tennessee and what a disaster that was. You want to talk about the difference between Georgia State, Tennessee, and Georgia Southern and LSU? Georgia Southern was a 10-win team. No. Georgia Southern was a 10-win team last year. Georgia State was, a 2-win team last year? And they go into Tennessee and just handle their business. Now, they didn't blow up Tennessee or anything. It was a close game throughout. Fourth quarter, they kind of pulled away. But, man, the bottom end of the SEC took a beating. Missouri goes into Wyoming, up 14-0 on Wyoming. And next thing you know, Wyoming comes storming back. Missouri makes it a game late. They ultimately can't get down the field and convert to try to tie it up. I believe they would have had to have gotten a touchdown and a 2-point conversion to tie, I think. But Mizzou couldn't get it done. They still, Kelly Bryant still passed for a ton of yards. I think Mizzou will be just fine. South Carolina lost to North Carolina. Mac Brown dancing in the locker room afterward. I mean, the SEC East, man, it did not look good. Georgia goes into Vanderbilt and handles their business, although they weren't, they didn't look like world beaters. And again, it's the first game. But still, that is the SEC East could be, especially Jake Bentley's gone at South Carolina. If Mizzou doesn't figure it out, this could be an interesting year in the SEC East. It looks like it's just going to be Georgia and a runaway. But, again, Georgia wasn't world beaters at that point. Draco says Bama's O-line didn't look too good. Hopefully they will get better. I did not have any real issues with Bama's O-line. I knew Duke would put up a fight because David Cutcliffe's too good of a coach not to. So I knew there would be some stuff that they would do. But, look, it took them a half to get everything ironed out, and then once they did, they were gone. And Tua, he didn't play like the fourth quarter or whatever. I mean, there was nothing to it at that point. Once they kind of got untracked and figured it out, they were good to go. But, man, the SEC West had a great weekend. The SEC East had a terrible weekend. It was not pretty amongst those guys. It's definitely a concern. Let's catch another break, Raj, and we'll see if we can get Ralph lined up in the break. If not, we'll get him back on for tomorrow. Hey, Craig Way from Texas is good for me, man. Ralph Russo, we'll have him on whenever he's ready. The problem is Ralph's such a good dude. He's one of those guys I'd like to be mad at, like, oh, you stood me up, you punk or whatever, but Ralph's one of the nicest guys you're going to find in the business. He's just fantastic. So I'm sure he got caught in a call or something. Who knows? We'll hopefully line him up next. It's Patrick Netherton Show.
And now someone else is getting all your best. These boots are made for walking, and that's just what they'll do. One of these days these boots are gonna walk all over you.
Welcome to Walk-On's Bistro and Bar, where every dish starts from scratch. Fresh ingredients bring our food to life. Mouth-watering cuisine, unique flavors, and we're always more than happy to share our Southern charm and culture. A love of life, family, food, friends, fun, sports, and celebrations. Walk-Ons. It's game day with the taste of Louisiana.
Nicole, they say I've got an electric personality. Does that help me out at First Choice Personnel?
It would help you. I'm looking for electrical or mechanical, technical people.
I'm not so mechanical, but I do have an electric personality.
Sounds good. You come my way. Let me see what I can do for you.
All right, 797-7810, 797-7810. First choice personnel, make first choice your last call.
Moorhead Pools has been a part of Hanging with Hester from the very beginning. You're talking about a company that's been in the top 25 for 5 years running in all of North America, according to Pool and Spa News. They've won numerous awards for their staffing, but Michael Moore's here to tell you what else they can do.
Well, Jacob, not only do we design pools, we want to design the entire environment. And that includes outdoor kitchens. That includes covered patios, living spaces. We want to take the inside to the outside. That's our goal, and do it in a very tasteful, elegant way.
Moorhead Pool, supporting Hanging with Hester.
We have been preaching this for so long, but it's nice to hear it from other sources as well. Gibbsland Bank and Trust certainly knows about customer service. The Minden Press-Herald, our buddies over there in Webster Parish, just voted Gibbsland Bank and Trust the best bank and best customer service in Webster Parish. How you like them apples? You want great customer service? You want Gibbsland Bank and Trust, the great banking team. Bumps and bruises, Hester, it's all part of football, right?
Absolutely.
Gonna have them.
Gonna happen.
Doesn't matter.
Nope. Can't avoid it.
Here's what can happen, though. As a guy who's around high school kids quite a bit, when you get these bumps and bruises, coaches want you back on the field.
Yeah, got to get back out.
Chill and Hill. How much do you recommend Chill and Hill to help get through those bumps and bruises?
It helps me, and if it can help me, it surely can help a teenager who's in prime athletic condition to get back out on the field.
Chill and Hill, 798-4325. You're talking to a couple of old Landers veterans here. Had our Ram pickup truck since 2014. You've had your Patriot for how long?
5 years or so, I think.
I've had our Jeep Wrangler since 2009. These things last.
Yeah, I'm about to cross the 120,000 mile mark.
I got you about 2,000, I think, on the Ram. The Jeep, it may have 1 million miles. I don't know what Caroline's doing with it down in Baton Rouge, to be honest with you. You want vehicles that last, you want relationships that last, then you need to deal with Landers Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. 2701 Benton Road, just south of I-220 underneath the 2,400 square foot American flag.
Have you enrolled us in the plan?
Sweetie, I've got us in so many plans, I've forgotten where the plans are.
No. The 2 times a year plan where AccuTemp comes out.
Yeah. All in that. Because as a matter of fact, it's time for them to come out and do our spring one.
Yes, we're about to make the big switch over from blasting the heat to blasting the cold air.
AccuTemp's the one. And here's the deal. You change out the air filters. That's smart. That's good. But have AccuTemp come out twice a year, get your air conditioner ready for the summer, heater ready for the winter. AccuTemp, 861-2255.
In a meeting of season ticket holders of Mudbugs fans here, Hester, it's you and me.
Yeah.
4 years, buddy.
That's right. Seems like yesterday.
It does seem like yesterday, but it's fun about this team is that it's going to be a little bit different than last year's team. Going to be some new faces, but we're going to see some veteran guys here. What are you looking forward to most about the Mudbug season?
Another year of being around people, because I love talking to everybody, and I like people coming to see me at the games and making sure they say hello. So just another season of that.
Spreading goodwill the Mudbugs way, Adam Hester.
11:30 The Tiger, Bossier City's home for LSU sports.
Let's get to the meat of the matter with producer Rogers Hampton.
Hey, boy!
Here's your master of ceremonies, Patrick Netherton.
Welcome you back. It is the Patrick Netherton Show right here on 1130 The Tiger. He's Rogers Hampton. I'm Patrick Netherton. Patrick Netherton Show off and running and almost done now. Holy cow, that has flown by. But we saved the best for last, ladies and gentlemen. Not only is he a damn fine football writer, but as he himself said on Twitter, he looks like a guy who saved a lot of money on his car insurance. He is Ralph Russo from the Associated Press. Ralph, how are you, man?
I'm good. Yeah, that headshot is. I don't know if it's the most flattering, but then again, that's all I got. Right?
Hey, look.
If the picture doesn't look good, it's not about the picture, right?
Right. You don't blame them. You don't blame the Mr. Craftsman doesn't blame his materials, Ralph. You got to work with what you got to work with, man. And I'm the same way. I can only look so good, and that's as good as I can look. And what can we do? Hey, number one, thanks for some time today. I know this is the busiest time of year for you, getting into college football, getting everything kind of settled in. About week 4 or 5, you'll kind of have a routine. But Tell me what it's been like week 0, week 1, moving into this week 2. Has it settled in a little bit for you now?
To a certain degree. You're right. The early part of the lead up to the season and the early part of the season, especially, because the season starts. The season starts in a great way. I like the week 0 concept, and having a Labor Day weekend where you have games from Thursday to Monday is really cool. It does sort of take a little getting used to, and it's an odd way to start the season because it's not the normal week, right? So the first week or so of the season is not necessarily a normal week. It's not a normal routine. Things are sort of rushed, and there's a lot going on. But hey, listen, no worries. It's much better than breaking rocks, and this is a job that we like. But it was an interesting first week. It was an interesting first weekend of the season if you got beyond the ranked teams, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the most fascinating things that happened were at Florida State and Tennessee, but otherwise it was a chalky weekend for the ranked teams with AP ranked teams went 23-0 against unranked teams. The only ranked team to loss was the loser of Auburn and Oregon, and that was the only game between ranked teams this week.
I'm curious because you do curate the AP Top 25 poll. You know how I feel about it. I don't want the first poll out until mid-October. I hate preseason polls. But I am curious. I know why they're there. I know that they create a lot of conversation and whatnot. Do you see, or especially in the age of social media, how much do you see in terms of reaction to when that initial top 25 poll comes in and, oh, you have my team ranked 17th, we're clearly 15th? Like, do you get a lot of that?
I don't get as much as I think the expectation would be. I definitely hear it. Frankly, I think because I don't vote in the poll and people know I don't vote in the poll, and the ballots of the people who do vote are public, and a lot of them make their ballots readily available too.
Yeah.
That I think the complaints go more directly to the people voting. In other words, instead of going to management, which would be me, it's like if I have a complaint with a particular waiter, I'm going to go directly to the waiter and complain, right?
Right.
As opposed to complaining to management, which I get. I certainly get some of those. I certainly get a lot of pushback on the poll. But I think the individual voters get more heat than I do these days.
What was the weirdest thing that happened in week 1? And I think it's a tie for first, and you can tell me if I'm missing one, okay? Hugh Freeze coaching from a hospital bed in the press box, or the Jackson State mascot getting a flag for illegal participation, basically, in the end zone after a touchdown. And am I missing anything, or are those 1 and 1A?
That could be a solid 1 and 1A especially if we take away the stuff that happened on the field. The Hugh Freeze thing, I think, actually, I would say this. I think the Hugh Freeze thing is a clear number 1.
Yeah.
Because as someone who's covered SWAC football, weird stuff happens in SWAC.
Yes, it does.
There's a term called swacking it up, and the mascot getting a little involved in a scuffle on the field is not that crazy for if you talk about the history of crazy things that happened in SWAC.
Sure.
But that was certainly a lot of fun, and certainly rates as one of the more fun and odd things that happened this weekend. But I mean, Hugh Freeze coaching from a hospital bed in the press box so his team could get shut out. I mean, listen, on one hand, I respect the idea that he's trying to show his kids that this is really important and his employers that this is really important. The other part of me is hey, man, really? What are you really contributing here?
Did you see the video of him talking to the team pregame from the hospital bed, and they're in the locker room, getting all fired up while he's talking to them via video feed from the hospital bed?
I did see some of it. I wasn't listening quite so intently to it, but I did see it. It was just very bizarre. And again, I don't want to disparage the idea of sort of that idea of hey man, we're tough, we're going to be tough together, and I'm going to set the tone here by showing up to work even though I just had surgery. It's all very, very noble in one sense, but it's also very really, like, what really are you accomplishing here? Like, by doing this?
It's almost satire in a way, is what it becomes. I really wish he would have at least dropped a Gipper reference in there somewhere, just to win one for the Gipper at some point. I wish they would have found a way to drop that in. Talking to Ralph Russo from the Associated Press. All right, did you learn anything in Week 1 that you didn't know, or anything surprise you from Week 1?
Nothing. Well, listen, I think it's hard to put it into the scope of surprising because you don't know where this is going, right?
Sure.
I mean, I fully expect, like, Tennessee, as bad as it was for Tennessee last week, and boy, it was bad.
It was bad.
Like, I very much expect Tennessee to bounce back because generally that's what happens. We see these teams that had these devastating losses or blow these games, or like Florida State did, or just have these like strange endings. It's very easy to sort of see Week 1 and think, oh, that's what we're going to get the rest of the season out of this team. And then quickly you learn either that was just a blip or that was really not a forecast of things to come. It was maybe if I dig a little deeper into that loss or that weird result, I will learn a little more about it. So I don't know if I necessarily had anything particularly surprising. What was interesting is all these young quarterbacks coming up big, and we've become like almost numb to the idea that a freshman will start. That used to be unheard of, and now it pretty much happens all the time. But when you see the kid Bachmeier from Boise State hanging in there, taking all those shots, bringing his team from behind on the road.
Threw for 400 yards or whatever?
Yeah, and 400 yards. What the kid Howell from North Carolina does, again, in sort of a hostile environment, a neutral field. Like, it's not just that these quarterbacks are sort of really talented and ready to, they are really so much more mature in their years than ever before. And I feel like at this point, if your quarterback is either going to be a freshman, someone who started as a freshman, or a transfer, right? I think it's one of those three things is going to cover your quarterback. There are so few of these guys who are going to slowly develop on your roster, and after 2 or 3 years in your program, then they're going to become the starter. It's like, I'm starting as a freshman, or I'm out of here, and I'll go start somewhere else.
Yeah, not a good look, by the way, for Willie Taggart to blame his team's conditioning for their loss against Boise State, as the team from Boise, Idaho comes down and is better conditioned than the team that's living in Tallahassee.
Well, let me throw it this way. I mean, first of all, don't say that, really.
Exactly.
Like,
even if you believe it.
Know it, don't say it. But the problem was not necessarily Boise was better conditioned. The problem was Boise ran 108 plays. So, of course, they were going to wear down your defense. That's the biggest issue, that they couldn't get Boise off the field. So it becomes sort of a chicken and egg. Was the reason why they couldn't get off the field because they were worn down, they weren't in good condition, or the reason why they were worn down because they couldn't get off the field? And again, if you're Willie Taggart, with all the things that are going on, and no team needed a change of trajectory and a change of narrative more than Florida State, that loss, even worse than Tennessee to a certain degree, the loss by Florida State was absolutely devastating because they so much needed to change the story, change the narrative around that program, and they could have, and they let it get away.
Yeah, and especially after they had such a great first half, and they were up by 18 at one point. Ralph, obviously the big game that's here in the state of Louisiana is actually in Texas, but LSU and Texas, everyone's talking about it. Texas's lack of depth at the running back position. They've got a bunch of injuries there. Sam Ehlinger, the new look offense for LSU. What do you see when you start to break this game down between LSU and Texas?
Yeah, I was really, maybe more impressed than I should have been with that. I figured LSU against a triple option team, unveiling a new offense, it was going to be, listen, I expected them to win comfortably, without question. I expected the Tigers to win comfortably, but they were so good against a pretty good Sun Belt team that could conceivably grind you down a little bit and at least make the game a little ugly. So, again, it becomes a Week 1 problem, right? How much do I take from that Week 1 performance and think it's transferable to a road game in Austin against a much better team? I think LSU is going to win the game. I was encouraged at what I saw. I think the lack of running backs is an issue for Texas. I also think that Texas, in the grand scheme of things, I think Texas might be a year away. I think Texas will still be good this year, but I don't know if Texas is ready to make a big jump forward Now, that said, and I'm sure everybody listening to your station knows it, Tom Herman's teams, when they are underdogs, they play really well.
Especially at home.
He has a tendency to rally his troops in these games when they are thought of to be the underdog pretty well. Again, I think LSU wins this game. I think LSU, I'll take what I saw with LSU and move it forward and think they're going to be pretty productive. I certainly don't think it's going to be a blowout, but I think LSU gets the win on the road here. But that what you see out of Herman's teams, I think that there's enough of a sample size there to think that that's not just an accident, that they play well as an underdog.
Are you on the road this week?
I will be at the other big game, matching another Texas team, and that is Texas A&M and Clemson.
Yeah, big game there. That's going to be.
Somebody had a great stat on it. How listen, Trevor Lawrence threw 9 passes against Texas A&M last year. Justin Ross, I think, played 1 play. Travis Etienne carried the ball 8 times. This is a very different Clemson team that A&M will be facing. Not to mention it's in Death Valley.
No doubt. Last thing, Ralph. Can we get an update on the Twitter handle, please? I mean, Ralph D. Russo AP is a lot. Can we just get like a Russo AP or a Ralph? I mean, you just got to help me out here because I want to pump your brand, but that's a lot of letters to put in a Twitter handle. Is all I'm saying.
There is a lot there. I'll take it. I always wonder though, at a certain point, if you change it, is that problematic? In other words.
Everyone now knows you as Ralph D. Russo AP.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, when you're changing